Hello, hello, hello. We're typing. We're going live. We're just testing this out. Hello, everyone. People are coming in. Hello, hello, hello. Wow, what's happening? Type in the chat. Say hello. Who's here? People popping in. We just jumping on board. 10 people, 9 people, 10 people, 15 people. What's going on, everyone? How's everybody doing? Uh, really curious about this. I just got StreamYard, so I figure I might as well jump on here and go live because what else is there to do, right? We're in the middle of I'd usually be out right now, but we're in a pandemic, so we're just here. So what's going on? What's happening? What's everybody up to? We've hit over 2 digits of people coming by. Like so, yeah. Ugh. Oh, I don't know what the expectations are. I know this is kind of dark. Let me adjust this. Okay, now you can see my face. It's good. Um, Everybody's coming from Twitter and they're coming in and out with Periscope. More people, come on in. Come on in. Invite people, tell people I'm here, talk to people, talk to me, what's going on? Hello, 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 hello. No comments yet. If you got something to say something, I guess. I don't know. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, Twitch people coming on board. Let's have what's going on. We're here. Yes, Void's coming on. Yes, 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 yes. We are streaming. We have people coming on board. We are talking. We are here. Wow. How's everyone doing? Yeah, we're doing this right now, Mango King. We're hopping on board. We are trying this out. We're figuring it out. What's happening? I thought did I just okay. Thought I just lost audio, but I didn't. We are doing this right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're drawing an emote for K Swiftly right now. It's funny. I have no idea what that means. Void. What does that mean? What does that mean? For folks watching, I am on Twitch right now, and I have no idea like what the Twitch world is. I'm like really trying to figure this out. Like I'm really learning. So, uh, yeah. Oh shit! I just got on Twitter, and it's on Twitter like crazy. This is great. Yeah, thank you, Mango King. Yeah, like um, I fuck with Vita Heavy. Like yeah, we go back forever. Yeah, like. Whew. Yeah, me and Vita go back to since 2006, 2007. Um, she's super dope. I really fuck with her. Super smart, not just for um, not just life, but like just like hip hop music, like anything. Like she's really super dope. And emote is an image like that. Oh, okay, got it. What happens in the chat? What happens in the chat? What goes on in the chat? What do people do in the twat? The twat. I can't talk. Okay, magic does happen. Yes, evil and good magic. It could, it can. Usually memes happens in the chat. That's fair. I wonder what type of memes. Is there a way to like know which memes exist? Like, is there a way to like control the memes? Or memes uncontrollable? Like, I don't know what's happening uh, with that. This is fascinating. Like, as I look on Twitter, I meant to delete all my tweets, but like, it looks like it posted on there, so I guess I'm here. Hey, my brother's on board. Hey, Charles, what's going on, man? It's a good point. Memes are just out here. Duke CT, that is my brother. Happy to see you here. Um, hmm. Okay, Mango King and Void. Also, my brother's here. Hey, Charles. If you, I'm curious. Especially Mango King and Void. You both heard me yesterday on K's Twitch. Is there anything from that Twitch you want me to go deeper on? Because I have some ideas for things I want to do, but as this is a test, I'm trying to figure this out. Uh, I'd like to just kind of just have some fun tonight. Ooh, the history of Clubhouse superheroes. What makes a real hero? Those are two compelling things. I'll give it a little second. I like a lot of optionality, so keep them coming. I want to see because this might start. This might just create a set list for me tonight. We have superheroes. We have Clubhouse. What do you want to do with Twitch? Seizing the memes. What I want to do with Twitch? So we have Clubhouse. We have superheroes. We have what do I want to use Twitch for? T. I love T. T's a phenomenal mind and a great streamer. Um, yeah, Champagne Sharks is amazing. I really fuck with them heavy. I yes, and I Clubhouse needs some more real folks in there. So if Champagne Sharks has a Discord, getting as much of those folks into Clubhouse um, is really important. Oh, one of the fun things is you can stream and listen to music at the same time. This is super dope. I wish I could share my playlist, but I realize that I can't, unfortunately, due to this being a Mac. But fucking fun. Hmm. All right, so we have a list of things here. Two Clubhouse things, so I might as well start with Clubhouse, cause why not? Right? Let's start with Clubhouse. Um. So the history of Clubhouse. Clubhouse starts about, and that's fair. That's fair. PC might be better than Mac. So let's start with Clubhouse. Clubhouse, at its origins, is for those who don't know. I guess recording is for posterity. Clubhouse is a voice chat app, social network, which tends to focus on the aspect of voice in rooms um, to help facilitate conversation and bring people together. Now, you might say, uh, how is that different than a phone line or whatever? It's on the internet and there's modern UX. That's pretty much the difference. That's what it is. But to take a less cynical tilt, um, the idea is that by putting it online um, and using some of the modern magic of social media, that you can take Clubhouse, you can take the idea of voice chat and really expand with it. Um, so that's the original idea of Clubhouse, and um, at its beginning, uh, it catches on rather quick. So Clubhouse is um, really on fire because it catches fire with some tech folks in San Francisco, which then pulls in people from the venture capital world, and it becomes, since it's invite only, it becomes this platform where venture capitalists and techies come in and uh, chat. A clubhouse, they chat, right? That's right, Tony Sanders. It's party, like it's basically a party line, right? There's it's nothing really different from that. Um, I could make a Discord Mango Key, but I'm trying to be lazy tonight. So it's a chat line. VCs get involved. They really enjoy Clubhouse, and they kind of make it their thing. A lot of and because VCs are there, a lot of people that are looking for funding kind of find their way in. The idea of getting a chat, I was about to call it a chat house. The idea of getting a Clubhouse invite becomes very popular. And for folks that don't know, like they're thinking about it now, right? Like I'm talking about back in March, April, May, when folks are very, very, very into this idea of connecting with VCs, right? It's mainly a tech platform. Um, so it starts to spread a little bit, and some of the bad incidents that are attributed to Clubhouse, um, uh, some of the bad incidents that are attributed to Clubhouse start happening, and some of the bad incidents I'm talking about is there starts to be some like racial things that are happening there. There are some anti-Semitic things that are happening there. It's very early. There's kind of like there's a clubhouse so white kind of moment happening, and this is happening in April, May, June, right? And once you get to that point, but it's still gaining popularity within the VC world. Um, Comes out in about May or June that um, they end up raising capital because they're connected to the VC world, and those VCs put $13 million in it. And for those who don't know, $13 million of VC seed funding is outrageous. Um, that is an insane amount of money for a young tech company to have and to deal with. And you could call it because a lot of VCs were on it, blah blah blah. Anyway, they get a lot of money um, with no customers and no real hype. I mean, the hype is within kind of that San Francisco world. As that continues, remember it's an invite only app, like as it is now. Um, One thing that continues to happen is there continues to be these racial incidents, and people are starting to catch um, Nazis, like little Nazis, are starting to come on board to Clubhouse. Like folk, and we're talking about from like June, like the summer, like it's almost on like a weekly basis where they're having these incidents where um, they're having these like bad racial incidences, and they're having to put out statements about how Clubhouse is really inclusive for everyone. Right, that same standard kind of corporate language when it means nothing. And it kind of continues. June, July, August, September. It comes to a head about September, early October, where like they have some really bad things happen. And like 5 or 6 business days where it was just a lot of just super Nazi thing. Like they have rooms full of Nazis at this point. And not only do they have these rooms full of Nazis, you have some of the venture capitalists that are some of the venture capitalists that are funding the app. There are screenshots of them in the rooms with these Nazis, right? And they're starting to have like this is starting to not be good. It's not good visual. Like it's not good optics. Um, so Clubhouse is starting to hire. Right, they have this ton of money. Like it looks like they're trying to build the ship as they go. And at about that point, um, I noticed all of a sudden there's a lot of black interest. Right, there's a lot of um, black tastemakers who suddenly latch on to the platform, right? One example is I was listening to Joe Budden podcast, and like all of a sudden he's bringing up Clubhouse, and like to me it's like, wait, what does he have to do with Clubhouse, right? Like I work in tech, I've worked in tech for a very long time. Like I'm aware of Clubhouse just because of just me being in the tech world. Um, like why is Joe Button into why is Joe Button into this? Why is Kevin Hart into this? Right? Like it looks like they made a concerted effort to bring a whole bunch of black folks or let's just call it ethnic people into the platform, and they start talking about it, right? Which brings a whole bunch of new users, right? They start inviting these folks, and they started letting these folks invite more people. Um, and so there's a whole bunch of like black folks coming onto the platform. Now, mind you, again, before this happened, this is like they're having a very big problem uh with Nazis being on this platform, right? They pretty much kind of dash that. They push that to the side, right? And they invite all these black folks in it. And the thing about Clubhouse, right? If you're not aware of what's happening elsewhere, right? It kind of looks like a brand new platform. So you have these black folks inviting a bunch of black folks, and all of a sudden, like you have, black folks are generally tastemakers, right? So like you have these black folks inviting black folks, and there's more and more and more tastemakers. They're talking about it on their platforms. If you notice in the last month and a half, there's just so many folks talking about Clubhouse, right? And I think you could put that on a couple things. One thing specifically, Clubhouse being invite only, right? There's a sort of prestige with that, right? Like, oh, I'm on this new platform. Two, the idea of tech for people outside of tech, and to be on a platform with folks that are like venture capitalists and whatever seems like a really cool thing, right? Like, oh, especially for these tastemakers that are coming on board. Oh, I'm on a app with Mark Andreessen. There's not a lot of people on here. I could talk directly to Mark Andreessen. Like that's a huge thing for them. And like as you continue kind of down this path, um, right? And they invite people. There's this idea of exclusivity that continues down this path, right? What ends up happening, I have to stop saying I don't know why I say so much. What ends up happening is you have this new community of non-white people that have no concept of what happened in the last 9 months. They have no idea about the Nazis. They have no idea about the horrific uh, things that have happened on the platform. They have no concept of all of this. They have no concept that the funders of this platform and the founders of this platform are in rooms with these Nazis and talking with them. Um, all of a sudden, it's just this really cool technology. And now, where we are now, right? I noticed a couple things, like the actually before I talk about what I noticed, folks that are here, any thoughts, questions? What's up with the chat? How y'all doing? What's happening? Any questions about what I said? What I've been talking for the last, like, I guess 10 minutes about the history of this. I'm gonna go back to the chat to talk to see what y'all think. What do y'all think? Thanks, Charles. What's up, Twitch? Twitch. What y'all think? What's happening on the Twitch stream? Where y'all at on this? Mm. Okay, cool. Keep going, keep going. Never had any social media. Yeah, Void, stay off social media. It's all bad for you. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, Ben, like I should say, the Horowitz family, right? Yeah, that's a big piece. Either Ben or Felicia coming on board and inviting a lot of folks. Ben and Felicia are also very. They end up being very Trojan horsey, like to a lot of folks in that community. Like I know people that work at A16Z, and uh, like I have people in the building. And one of the things that I learned from them is that like Tony and Felicia specifically are like the whisperers for like non-white people. Like they use like they're there to like bring people in, right? They lay down the whole like Ben goes, oh I love rap and I love Nas, and then Felicia's black of course, and then they like all of a sudden like they throw on the charm and like don't worry about the Nazis over here, right? We're liberal, blah blah blah. Um, ignoring the complete kind of Horowitz family history, which is a whole other thing if you if you want to dig deep into that well. Google search will help you there. Um, just look up Ben Horowitz's family and what his family has done and their political connections. So back to what I noticed on Clubhouse. Um, all of a sudden, I would say mid-October or so, folks that I know that are somewhat tastemakers on Clubhouse, I noticed them get a ton, like specifically non-white folks on Clubhouse. I noticed they got a ton of invites. I mean, like a ton. Um, when Clubhouse first started, like to get one, two, three, four, or five invites was a lot. Like they're dropping 25 on them, right? And remember, if you invite somebody to the platform, they now have invites. So right, this is exponential. This is exponential what's happening here. And so you dump all these perfect Tony, exactly. Yes, it's very Get Out ish, right? The Horowitz family it's perfect for Get Out. They are perfect. Um they exhibit all those behaviors. Um so when you go through and um you look at it, all these non-white influencers are getting a ton of invites. 25, right? Like someone I know, she got 25 invites. Another person I know got like 25 invites. Like so they're giving out a whole bunch, right? Because I think they noticed the wins of the app. Exactly. They would have voted for Obama the third time. That's correct. They certainly would have. I wouldn't be surprised if you looked up their tweets and they said something similar. Matter of fact, I'd put money that they have. Um, as I said, my brother Dukes T said they would have voted for Obama a third time. Yes. So you move forward, right? They're dumping a bunch of these invites, and so what ends up happening is like, um, as these tastemakers and folks talk about Clubhouse, like you have Clubhouse being talked about on all types of platforms, right? You have the Kevin Hart incident of a few weeks ago, right? Folks might not know he's an investor in Clubhouse, right? And is he an investor? No, but like back to when I was talking about earlier about having people like looking for non-white people to invest um, a, a little piece of the app to own it to make that cap sheet look a little less like the Nazi party, right? People like Kevin Hart are given a piece of the platform. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Budden has a piece of the platform because Joe Budden is talking about it on this podcast constantly. Um, and like you just noticed, like all of a sudden it's cultural, right? And one thing about black folks is black folks are like they constantly black folks move the culture, right? So black folks talking about it make the app really interesting. So all of a sudden these tastemakers that aren't investors, I'm talking kind of mid-level tastemakers, are offered a whole bunch of invites, right? And what is that doing, right? That's adding a lot more flavor to the app. um, because right, any like study of American culture, right, wherever black culture goes, American culture goes. And it's allowed Clubhouse to really get past that history that they have of just rampant anti-Semitism, rampant racism, Nazis in rooms, Nazis with the investors, right? And now it's transformed itself into an app that, much like the Horowitz family, right? Where it's like it's the externals are very quote unquote liberal, right? Like all these black folks are here. Come on, like how can we be an evil app? But the people that make those decisions are the same people from before. They never apologized. They never made any changes to the app. And if you look on the app now, you'll see um, some of the vestiges of that past. Right, the Nazis are still there. Um, the white folks that are Nazi-ish are still there. They're still racist rooms. But if you have this overload of really cool people come on board, then you can kind of drown them out. My concern with um, Clubhouse is the fact that they never dealt with it. And in fact, I forgot to mention this when they were called out, the response to a lot of what was happening was, hey, uh, ignore, like, we don't have any problem. It's intellectual, what's the term they love? Intellectual diversity. We don't want to stop anybody's voices here. It's First Amendment. We really want to hear people, right? Which is always code for like we're gonna let white folks come on by, um, and say whatever they want. Um, yeah. Ooh, I should talk about the boys. Uh, so a couple of comments coming in. Mango King says, "I see it's a ticking time bomb." Um, no, I can do that. Okay, yeah. So I see it's a ticking time bomb. What I'm hearing, I'm having people, from what I'm hearing, having those kinds of problematic people on the platform. Yes, it is a ticking time bomb. From what I've heard, they've silenced a lot of journalists from talking about this. Um, and anybody that brings this up on the Clubhouse platform, if you want to find yourself banned, they don't ban any of the Nazis. But if you want to find yourself banned on Clubhouse, start bringing this stuff up. They'll get you out of here. Pretty much expeditiously. They'll get you out of here expeditiously. Um, yeah. So yeah. Um, you look at American history, the Americans inspired the Nazis, and yeah, that's correct. As my brother here has said, the Americans inspired the Nazis big time, and one of the reasons why I love the boys, and we can talk about that too if you guys want, is they don't shy away from that in season two. Like they really lean into that in a way that um, I feel like America has really tried to hide uh, their own history and collaborating and dealing with Nazis and inspiring Nazis and all the things that um, they Nazis in America, that whole connection. So to put a button on the Clubhouse thing, they never dealt with that. Not only that, their funders, their main funders. I'm not talking about the Kevin Harts or whatever that are minor players on the cap table. When I say cap table, I mean pretty much the owners of the business to take it out of venture capital speak, whatever. Um, the minor players on the cap table. So you can get rid of the Kevin Harts and the celebrities. When it comes to the people that are really running the show, right? Your Mark Andreessens and such. Not only did they not condemn, they gave them a subtle passive nod to continue to do what they do. And um, as we move forward here, um, that strain. The founders also never really condemned it either. Like they put out these, and I should say this: they condemned it, but um, really it was a slap on the wrist to these folks. Like they said, we personally want people to feel comfortable on our app, but we can't control what people say on our app. Which think about that statement on its face. Like you can't control what people say on your app, right? That's a coward's way out. So the rot in that app is really deep. So um, it's been interesting to see them hide that history. It's been interesting to see them um, bring these folks in, and it's been really interesting to see how it grows, like um, including thinking about like somebody like T, right? Like someone like that, you know, 6, 7, 8 months ago would have never been invited to the platform, um, and bringing folks that, and along with him, he can bring folks that are interesting. Um, I know a lot of like interesting, smart people joining Clubhouse now and bringing conversations there. Um, but uh, as mentioned earlier, perfect Mango King. That's exactly it, right? You can lie to people once, you can lie to people twice, but you can't sweep things under the rug forever. This Clubhouse as an app um, is, I mean, I'm not saying it can't be successful, but um, the ownership um, really is no different than and I mean, I guess in this weird way, the ownership of uh, the the ownership of certain apps, um, like Facebook and Twitter, right? Use the same personalities that run these types of apps. So it's not saying that they can't be successful, but um, the havoc that they can inflict on the world with this backing, and this kind of mo is important to recognize very early. Um, uh, Recognize it now in its nascent stage before it kind of goes out and right. I still think their app doesn't have a ton of people on it still, right? I think it has, right. It can't be more than like 50,000 people on the app right now. Um, as it gets to a million or 2 million or 3 million or 5 million, if they're willing to uh, dance with Nazis very early, who are they willing? Like they're willing to dance with anybody, and we've already seen this, right? We've already lived through this story before. It's called Facebook. And for those who don't know, Facebook has plenty of blood on its hands, and I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean that like actual blood on its hands, right? Facebook has been responsible for ethnic cleansing campaigns in places like Myanmar, um, and foreign governments have manipulated Facebook to do its bidding. Our current government, as in the U.S. here, has manipulated Facebook to do its bidding, um, and they don't care because the bottom line says it's going to work. Right. So that's what we're dealing with when it comes to uh, all of this. So that's Clubhouse. What are our thoughts? Twitch, Periscope, YouTube. What are we thinking? That was not LSD. It's Listerine, by the way. Yeah, I think Void. I think it's probably good to pass on it. Life is good. You have the no social media. I think keep that going. Perfect, Mango King. Like yeah, like these tools are very dangerous. if you're not aware of what the power of social media is. I was talking to a friend today. On I was talking to a friend today about Facebook, and he asked me like, why aren't you on Facebook? Why don't you get on Facebook? Um, why don't you enjoy Facebook? Um, and ha 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 ha, very yes, ha, I suppose so. But the reason why I'm not on Facebook is because Facebook is manipulated in a way that it's designed to make you angry, and they realize that's the profit motive for them. It's anger and it's ads, which is two of the worst things you could do to your brain. And they have some of the smartest folks in the world that are very well paid, and they're designed to make you angry and to buy ads. And if you're not, if you don't understand the macro um, of Facebook and kind of what its goal is, it seems like Facebook isn't a problem. Why would Facebook be a problem, right? It's a tool I can talk to my mother on here. When in truth, like the end result of your family, the end result of Facebook, ultimately is you just being pissed at your family. Like that's the end result. You just end up being mad at your family, and what's the like? What do you get out of that? Like, what do you win? Um, just being mad at your family. It's Thanksgiving every day. Oh, the focus is off. Now look kind of. Um. So yeah, like what's the point of all this if you're not going to if you're not going to really do this, right? Um. Social media is a can be a very dangerous thing. Hmm. So, that's the clubhouse topic, I guess. Pen that out. Um, what's the next topic? Let's go back up here. Let's figure this out. We'll run through this set list really quickly. Um, oh yeah, yeah, Mango King, that's correct. Like, very young users are certainly at risk um, because our brains are developing, right? Our brains develop until what 25, 26. So when you're very young, everything has an ability to leave an imprint. So I'm very curious about Generation Z and younger as they deal with the psychological um, issues that may come from folks being tied into social media, right? I was a very early Facebook user, so like 2005, right, is when I get on Facebook, but I'm already an adult. So that's interesting, Void. Like, as a person that's not on social media, that I wonder, was that as someone that's grown up with it, is was that a choice? Like, was that a purposeful choice to not be? Was that a purposeful choice not to be on social media? Are other people in your generation like making that purposeful choice? That's interesting. Um, Not to put my nerd glasses on, but I'd love to. I'd love to see like a longitudinal study about that. over Generation Z over 5, 10, 15 years, what happens? Uh, I don't think that's true, Charles. Like people mobilize before social media, they'll mobilize after social media, right? Like it's not the only way people mobilize. Um, and a lot of the methods that people use to mobilize are still available. It's not necessarily different. Uh, I was taking an acting class once, and the teacher was talking about how plays used to be a tool to mobilize people. So, like, a play would come to town and say they were talking about a specific um, topic, right? Like, say they were talking about like labor rights. They would go from town to town and inspire people to create unions through plays. And like the actors would make their money through that, and then they would leave town, and folks would mobilize and create unions afterwards. Like as my acting teacher would talk about, he was like there would be some of these plays were so powerful, people would be crying and marching out and creating unions on the spot, like right out of the theater. So like it's not the only way to mobilize. There are plenty of other places to or ways to mobilize. Um, Social media is just one of many. Yeah, that's the interesting thing, and that's one of the things I wish. I can't wait to have. I'm not gonna say I wish they said. I'm sure plenty of PhDs are researching that. One of the things I'm really curious about is, and why I want a longitudinal study is that, like, what does this look like, right? How heavily implied is it? Where are the pressures coming from? Um, what are their actual results when it comes to uh, people and students and or whatever kind of whatever discipline, like what does it actually look like um, kind of in a peer reviewed way, and some of it's counterintuitive, right? Like so some of the data I've seen on social media speaks to like baby boomers being far more addicted to social media than like millennials or Gen Z, which is very counterintuitive because when you think about technology, you think about younger people. So like, um, it's a really fascinating thing. That's interesting. Like, I think my favorite network tool has definitely been Twitter, actually. More so than anything else. Instagram has been cool. Um, Pretty much anything but LinkedIn. Um, to network on LinkedIn is crazy. Everyone's just trying to sell you something there. It's really a spammy platform. It's an extremely spammy platform. So what are we talking about? We're talking about superheroes next. What makes a superhero? That's an interesting question because it's very cultural dependent. So like when I was younger, I used to think of Batman as a really big hero, and now I think of Batman as a really Batman's a villain. Um, I don't think Batman's a hero at all. But and like Batman was my favorite superhero growing up. Um, his actions and ideals, I don't know. Like, oh, Mango King got me. Fair enough. action and ideas, and ideals. I mean, I don't know. One man's hero is another man's. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Actions and ideals based on what, you know? Who's my favorite superhero? Before it was Batman. Um, Now I don't know if I have one. Like right now, it might be the television version of Billy Butcher. Like honestly, the killer superheroes. Um, because one of the critiques of the boys, I think one of the meta critiques is that um, to be a superhero is to be fascist, right? Like, how can a superhero not be fascist? Right? That's pretty much the end result, especially if that superhero is human. One of the things that like I love about like I almost want to rewatch it to like take notes and like really do a cultural critique. One of the things I love about the boys is whenever like somebody like Homelander, especially Homelander, right, who's Superman in the series. I don't know if all of y'all have seen it, but like, good lord, if you haven't, Amazon Prime, go watch it. It's fantastic. Um, One of the first things he says, and whenever he lands, is, "I'm not the hero. You're all heroes." It's a very cynical, like fucked up thing to say. Um, Kind of pointing out like this lie, like like it's not even like the lie of the whole thing, right? Like it's branding from jump. Yeah, I think a better world is a world without heroes. A better world is a world that doesn't need them, right? Which is ultimately where I'm at. Um, it's fun to play with the concept and um, yeah, the concept of superheroes. But to me, one of the things that makes it real, um, what makes a hero effective is a hero that doesn't exist, right? If the world was in a place where we're in a good place, like why would a superhero need to exist? Humans could take care of human problems. That's an interesting one. Is Spider-Man fascist? I don't know. Spider-Man is a weird case, and maybe that plays into why he's so popular. It also depends on. I think I'm looking at Mango King's comment. Like, it's also true. Like, the MCU's version of Spider-Man. Mm, uh, yeah. Um, you have this. His mentor is a man who's basically seated that the United States has the ability and should be controlling the power of superheroes. Um, Back to the ideals thing. Um, yeah, fair enough. And to your point, Charles, like or Duke CT, I keep calling you your real name. So to my brother's point here, yes, they're different versions of Spider-Man, and the fun about comics is um, we have different versions of everyone. Like Neil Gaiman's version of Batman is fascinating. Somebody put me on to his version, where uh, he poses, Batman's dead, and there's Batman's dead, and it's his funeral, and then you find out all types of weird things like Batman's not really a superhero. Alfred is the Joker, and all types of like crazy, crazy shit. Um, all indulging this like rich man's fantasy. But of course, Neil Gaiman has an interesting version of all of this, of everything, because he's Neil Gaiman. Amanda Waller. Um, I think Amanda Waller is a realistic version of what the United States would do with what's happening. Except instead of just villains, the Suicide Squad would certainly be also heroes. They would be essentially using, yeah, bingo, yeah, like, yeah, I agree with that completely. Except I think the Suicide Squad in real life would be heroes too. Like, and I think they would capture, like, the United States military or the United States government would capture superheroes as young as they can, implant those bombs or whatever in their brains as soon as possible, and anybody with superpowers would basically be under the control of the United States government and seen as exposable assets or expendable assets. Um, right, and the idea would be very CIA-ish, right? We've seen you do X, Y, and Z. Here's what we'll do. Uh, we'll go ahead and we'll end you. We'll end whoever you are, whatever you are. And we saw you did X, Y, and Z, some collateral damage. Um, so if you want to live, if you want to continue, if you want to be whoever you want to be, we'll take you and you have to work for us. No, Amanda Waller is actually effective, as opposed to Kamala Harris. Uh, uh, Amanda Waller adds confidence with the ambition, uh, as opposed to Kamala Harris, which is just a naked. It's just naked ambition. Mm. Hmm. So yeah, I mean, in terms of superheroes, it's kind of like I think Spawn's an anti-hero. Like Spawn's, he really doesn't like Superman's out here patrolling and like trying to create or maintain order in his vision, um, or Batman or whomever. Spawn is just somebody spawned from hell that's really focused on making sure that like hell's secure. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like, and he doesn't really care. Um, he doesn't necessarily care for heroes or anybody else in that universe in which he's in. Like, so like I guess Spawn would be, I don't know, a anti-hero. I don't even know if he would. Yeah, I don't think he would even put himself in that dichotomy, honestly. And I'm sure Batman won because Batman had prep time. The magic of Batman prep time. Batman could kill God himself, and has literally killed gods with prep time. It's really ridiculous. Batman is ridiculous. Yes, justice as an idea is a fascinating fictional topic. Right, like justice is a sense of order, right? Like order from the dominant society, the power of society, or whatever the dominant power of society is, or, or it actually depends on how you see justice, right? Like Everybody has their own form of justice. A vigilante is only trying to perform their form of justice because they think the current standard of justice from the dominant society is not enough. Is there some sort of divine justice? Mm, no. Right? Well, it depends, right? If you're right, that's if you believe in such things, right? Religion or like you have some sort of higher power that you believe in. Yes, there's something directing you to what justice is, a definition of it, so on and so forth. But uh, as an agnostic person, like, what does justice mean, right? All right, thanks, Thanos. This one is yeah, that's that. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, Spawn's just the guy, right? He's here. Um, yeah, I think he would toss out like dead dichotomy of pro hero or anti hero. Like, he would just say, "I'm a spirit that exists. It's really just trying to, live." And like when I see crazy shit, I try to stop it. I don't know. I was listening to Terrence McKenna, and he had this whole point about how uh, every baby in capitalism should probably be stopped. It doesn't sound like Thanos, um, but specifically like America, Britain, kind of Europe. Um, there shouldn't be more than like there should be like a one-child policy for capitalist countries, and I found that interesting. But I'm not high, so I can't talk too much about Terrence McKenna. I don't know. Terrence McKenna made an interesting point about I think uh, capitalist countries, so-called West's um, impact on the world. Like that's. Mm, I'm not gonna. He posed an interesting idea uh, about the issue with the West and the cost of every Western citizen is really insane on the Earth. And this was maybe 15, 20. Actually, this is like 30 years ago, which is only worst. It's about Neil Gaiman or Batman or Spawn, Void. Uh, Either way, like they're good stories. I like I shouldn't like I'm sitting here chatting, but like about this and like it sounds like I hate all this stuff, but like I don't know if it does or not, but like um yeah, it's fascinating. Black Panther is a regent or a monarch. He's not a hero. Almost everything in the lens of Black Panther has to be seen with the powerful Wakanda. He's just a king. He's a god king. No different than Louis the 14th or, you know. I don't know how Black Panther can be seen as a hero, honestly. Same thing with Aquaman's a little more different, I think, just because of him being, depending on the version of him, right? Not being born or raised in, um, not being raised in Atlantis and like kind of coming back to the throne. So I don't know. Aquaman, maybe I don't know. Black Panther, no. I never looked at Black Panther as a hero. Even that cursed movie, everything that Black Panther does is in service to Wakanda or himself. There are people in that movie that are like there are people in Wakanda that technically are super poor. So like it's yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, yeah, a little fun with the CIA. I should do a whole stream about that. Like I should watch Black Panthers. I'm getting tired. I should watch Black Panther and like just like really do a stream dedicated to how bad that movie is and just how liberal it is. Um, the CIA are the good guys, and the proper way to bring justice to people is to build community centers and go to the UN. It's really stupid. Um, while giving cops weapons, like it's really silly. Yeah, I mean they're all MacGuffins. I think honestly. Anyway, it's been an hour. This has been a good test. I'm tired. I'm starting to muffle and tuffle over words. Um, I'm glad folks that are with us been with us. This is fun. Thank you, Mango King. I'm gonna swing on by and do this more often. This was fun and like a maybe I'll I'll actually have a routine or something and like we'll actually have something there. Maybe we'll play some games. Maybe I'll just kick up Cyberpunk. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Um, having a lot of fun with Cyberpunk. Um, yeah. But yeah, this has been fun. Thank you all. Yeah, I'm in. Uh, more than happy to do one with you. Dear brother, more than happy to. As I'm now that I'm on, uh, yeah, jeez. I saw you switch over to Twitch. It's great. Thank you. All cohesive. Um, oh, I should raid into her channel. Oh, K is. Thank you. K is streaming. I didn't even know. I should know that. Let's see. Does that work? Okay. Cool. I'm sending y'all over to K. I'm sure she's having a ball, and we'll do that.